Get on your knees! You have 3 seconds to comply. 1, 2...
3. If you wanted me back, you could have just asked me.
A device that controls every military satellite in the world has fallen into the hands of 4 very dangerous guys.
We need someone who can move like them, fight like them. It's time to be a patriot.
There are no more patriots, just rebels and tyrants.
So which are you?
I'm XXX.
I'll introduce you to your ground team.
All right, here comes Red Bull's poster child.
I'm not gonna have clowns watch my back.
Who would you trust?
The good, the extreme, and the completely insane.
Hold on!
What you want, I got what you need.
Now that's a team I can work with.
Here we go. It's refreshing. You actually know what you're doing down there.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Wow.
These guys of yours are the real kind of trouble.
You have no idea what you're up against.
Whatever it is you're looking for, you're gonna come up short.
Does this mean you're not making me breakfast in the morning?
We're willing to die to keep the world safe. How about you?
I live for this.
I guess we're on the same team now.
You ready to have some fun?
What you want, I got what you need.
I go low.
I'll go high.
Let me simplify it for you. Kick some ass, get the girl, and try to look dope while you're doing it.
Damn, it feels good to be back.
This is my first build in the new studio, and this is Nina's first time on build. So,
How are you guys doing?
so we'll do this together. You know, actually, your former co-star Kat Graham opened the build studio with a cool performance, so that was pretty cool. So we have that in common. But this movie is so much fun and so cool, so much action. Tell me about getting involved in this franchise and what it meant for you to kind of, you know, you're kickstarting your movie career here.
Thank you. The movie is a lot of fun. It really is a giant roller coaster ride. We had a blast shooting it. There's so many stunts, and what you're seeing in the film, for the most part, is all practical. It's not a lot of visual effects, which, as an actor, is kind of the coolest situation and circumstance to be in, where you get to, you don't have to like pretend. There's not a lot of green screens, and you're just like pretending that something's happening. The explosions are actually right next to you, and it's kind of scary. And my character had to genuinely be scared the whole time. She's not necessarily a badass in the film. I'm sort of the techie, geeky comic relief. And so it wasn't that hard to actually be screaming and fearful for my life.
Yeah, what was it like for you to play this techie and this, you know, Becky, of course, is the techie in XXx.
See what you did right there?
I was like, ooh, was that on purpose now? And maybe I realized something.
I don't know.
Are you a techie yourself, or was this kind of a world that you know, with weapons and Becky knows everything about all these gadgets that Xander Cage and the team are using? What was that like for you to kind of get into that techie mindset?
Well, yeah, am I technological? I definitely know how to turn on an iPhone, open up the Instagram app, and my knowledge stops there. I'm not the most technologically inclined person, probably because my dad is a computer specialist. So growing up, whenever there was a problem of any kind, I'd just say, Dad, will you come fix this? And he would. Therefore, I learned nothing.
So how did you come about finding this role of Becky? Did you audition, or was it something that they thought you'd be perfect for the role and they called you up?
Gosh, that would have been fun. I wish they'd offered me the role. No, I think initially they wanted to see me for the Serena role, which is the more like ass kicking, the female lead in the film. And when I was reading it, I just laughed so hard at all of Becky's lines, and I thought it would be such a much bigger departure for me at this point in my career to play a role that was different than anything I've ever done before. And so I embraced the glasses. I went into the audition, did something right, because now I'm here, and that's me right there on the poster.
So what was it like for you to play, you're still gorgeous as Becky, of course, but you're more of like, the techie girl, not so much just the hot girl in a movie. Was that something that drew you into this role, is having a little bit of both in a character?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it was fun that my character is so different than all the rest of them. It is a very action-packed film, and everything is very serious. Everyone is, they're trying to save the world. They're doing the real hard work, whatever. But Becky's job is to be Xander Cage's right-hand woman. I invent all the gadgets. I help with all the toys. I get them all out of all the sticky situations. And I had to learn to memorize a lot of giant words that I did not know or understand, and had to look up and do research. And it was fun. It was fun to step into these shoes.
And you did do that comedy, I think, Let's Be Cops.
Yeah, but I wasn't. The boys were the comedic geniuses in that film. I was just sort of like the pretty girl in a short skirt standing in the back.
But did that movie kind of, make you realize, hey, maybe I want to do something that's a little more comedic and not so dramatic all the time?
Yeah, of course. No, I don't think it's a secret to say that you have the most fun in comedic parts and in comedic films, because everyone is constantly laughing and trying to one-up one another and think of things to say and new lines, and it's definitely difficult to keep a straight face. But I had a blast. I really did. And you get to be goofy. And the great thing about this film and my experience with DJ, the director, and Vin, is that they created an environment that was very freeing and open and inclusive. So no idea was a bad idea. I was able to kind of do and say whatever I wanted, ad-lib, improv. I felt comfortable. I could take risks. And when you're allowed that as an actor, when you have that freedom, it allows for you to also kind of play around, and then magical things happen when you play.
And what was the vibe like on set? This is a killer cast. You also have Rory McCann from Game of Thrones, and I don't know if anyone's a Game of Thrones fan, but while watching this, I was like, oh my God, it's the Hound in Triple X.
And he's funny, too. He's really good in the film.
Are you a Game of Thrones fan at all?
I wish I could say I was. I know people love it. I just did not have a chance to watch it and get into it because I've been so busy. But I know, to my detriment, everybody around me talks about it. So I always feel like I'm the one person in the room that has no idea what's going on.
Maybe one day you'll just binge watch it when it's all over. You might be better off.
One day when I have 19,000 hours. The show, what season are they on?
But they're going into their 7th season.
Yeah, good luck for me. Not gonna happen.
Really? And then you have...
Because it's not the kind of show that you can just sort of like come in and out of. Like you have to be sitting with 3 inches from the screen listening with like a microphone to every little detail. Because I have seen little bits and pieces, just not a full,
Yeah, no one has time for that. Except me. How is Ruby Rose? That's another awesome star in this. She's kicking ass lately. She's in another, I think she's in John Wick as well.
She's in John Wick and Resident Evil and this movie. So cool. I think she has 3 movies coming out back to back in 3 weekends. So she was joking. She was like, I don't know, like my movies are competing against one another. I want them all to do well. But they will. She's a badass. Look at her. She's got 2 knives in her hands. You do not screw around with that girl. You gotta stay on her good side.
You had some funny moments with Ruby in this film. What was it like working with her? What kind of co-star is she?
Speaking of not staying on someone's good side, one way to do that is prank them incessantly on set, which I did a lot. And she did too. She actually had some pretty great pranks. She covered my entire trailer with 200 plus headshots of herself. Every single surface. It was on the microwave, on the couches, on the floor, on the ceilings, everywhere. So then when I showed up to set and walked into my trailer, she walked in a few seconds later and then accused me of being obsessed with her. So there was that. And then Yeah, I mean, we just kept going back and forth. We did some crazy things. I got her with water guns while we were filming. It was a blast.
Where did you guys primarily film this film? Because in the movie, you guys kind of bop around between countries and states and.
Well, they do. They got to go to all the exotic places. I stayed in cold Toronto, Canada, which I love because I'm from there. It was really cool to get to film in your hometown, especially when I hadn't really been back for so long. But the weather could have been a little bit more friendly. It was cold. I mean, you guys know as New Yorkers, it gets very, very chilly out there, biting, and you want to stay inside.
And you guys were shooting action scenes too, because there is a scene when you are in the midst of the action, and although you said Becky's not really, doing the fighting in the movie, you do have a few weapon. You grab a weapon. I don't want to give it up now, so I'm like, I don't want to spoil this. Where am I going with it? What was that like for you to kind of do the stunts or be involved in watching stunts kind of take place on set?
I was more involved in watching the stunts than I was a part of performing the bigger ones. I had a few accidental stunt moments for which I had zero training because they wanted me to look clumsy and inexperienced. But I don't know, it was really fun. It was like a dream come true. I've always wanted to be in an action movie, and I got to be in that environment. I got to finally be there, but I was just cowering in the corner like a little baby.
And you got to be in an action movie with Mr. Action himself, Vin Diesel. Is everyone here?
Who's
Vin
that?
Diesel?
I've never heard of him. You guys know who he is?
Tell us everything about Vin because he's never been here and we've never gotten to know him. Tell us about Vin.
I'm sure he'll come at some point. He only has like 19 franchises filming right now. He's going to be promoting one of them soon here. He is exactly what you would think and more. He is the action star that you know and love, but on top of that, he has you think he's this big, tough, hard, sort of unapproachable dude, but he's quite the opposite. He's very, very lovable, and he's like a big teddy bear. I like to describe him that way because he has the heart of gold, and he's very passionate about everything that he does, and he was so lovely and so wonderful to me. Really welcomed me with open arms, and he spends so much time on set that it's almost like his home. And he welcomes you into his living room, which is his workplace, and his family's there. His kids come to set. It's awesome.
Yeah, and this is the return of Xander Cage. So he wasn't in the second film. What was it like for him? Were you there when he came back into the world and came back into Xander Cage's fur coat, shall we say? And what was it like for him? Did you see him get emotional at all? And was it a cool moment?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there for the moment that he put the coat on. But I know that he loves his character. He loves this character so much because he can laugh and he can have fun. And there's a levity to the role, and there's a I don't give a shit vibe to his character because he is a reformed culprit of sorts. And so I just always see him smiling and laughing. He's a producer on the film, so he really cares about the franchise doing well and puts his heart and soul and everything that he has, 150% into everything.
That's great. And so kind of tell us about the storyline for this movie. You guys saw the trailer. What did you think? You excited to see it? So there's this Pandora's box, correct? That the team is sort of chasing after, but then things kind of go a little bit awry. Can you tell us a little bit more about the storyline and what kind of drew you into playing a role in this movie?
Well, the storyline, I mean, without giving everything away, because I, like I said earlier, I want you guys to go see the film. Xander comes back in a way which I can't tell you. He comes back, and the government needs his help again because something goes wrong, and they need to find Pandora's box. And in the search for Pandora's box, a lot of things get uncovered, and the main sort of theme, and I think it might be one of the taglines actually, is to watch the watchers, to always keep your eye out for, just because they're the government doesn't mean that they have all the answers. You gotta keep a watchful eye on those who are sort of making all the big decisions. And so that's exactly what Xander does.
Yeah. And you're involved in the government, so you got to work with CIA agent, I think officer, Toni Collette, who plays that role in this film. What was that like? Another killer actress out there.
She's a dream. I was a big fan. I am a big fan and have followed her career very closely for a very long time. And I love every single thing that she does. And the minute I found out she was attached to this film, I was so excited. And she's just as amazing and funny and self-deprecating and just easygoing in person. She's a dream.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I had a little...
sorry.
Oh, keep going. Are you sure? Anything else about Toni Collette?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that between her, you asked me why I wanted to be a part of the film. And another one of the things that drew me was the female aspect of it. I mean, Toni's not on the poster, but the three of us are. And then there's Toni, and there's so many strong female characters in an action movie, which we don't see very often. And
Yes.
yeah, thank you guys. But the women in this film, they are beautiful, but that's not what defines them. It's the fact that they are independent and smart and strong, and they don't necessarily need the men, but they work with the men, and they don't fight with each other. I mean, there is a little bit of conflict, but by the end of the film, one of my favorite themes is that they end up learning that they need one another and that they're stronger if they build each other up and work together. And I think that's such an important message for not only women, but for girls watching this film.
Yeah, totally. Another round of applause. That's actually where I was headed, because we've seen with the box office, women in lead roles. People are going to see these movies, guys. We've seen it with Hidden Figures.
Right.
I mean, Hidden Figures is now at the top of the box office with three female leads. Which is
I know. They're
amazing.
killing it. I'm so proud of them. It's such a beautiful, beautiful film. So watch Xander Cage and watch Hidden Figures.
As long as it's not Hidden Fences, am I right? But with these action movies, like you said, you never see three women, or at least a couple women, in the action parts that aren't just like the eye candy for the movie. Was that something that drew you into the script as well, and just seeing that you have Ruby Rose and Deepika and you and Toni Collette in these power positions?
Yeah, of course. And you know what? That's a reflection of the world that we live in. There are women that are in MIT, that go to MIT and then join the NSA and are in very high positions in the government and are very smart. And so I'm happy that I got to play one and reflect that on film. Yeah. And same with Ruby and Deepika. Like, there's a lot of these women out there, and I'm glad that we're finally seeing them on screen.
And Samuel L. Jackson's in this too, guys, so that always makes everything better as well. Yeah. I want to play a game with you, because a lot of people say that Vin Diesel plays, in these action movies, similar characters. So I want to see if you can figure out if his character Dom from Fast and the Furious said this line, or if Xander Cage said this line. Okay. Are you down to play?
I'm nervous, but okay.
All right, who said this? I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
That sounds like a Dom line.
Correct.
Whoosh.
I wish I had some candy or something.
Yeah, wait, what do I get? Come on, give me some.
All right. You break her heart, I'll break your neck.
Dom.
Yeah.
Xander doesn't.
You're good at this.
Yeah, anyway, go ahead.
Shaken and stirred.
Xander.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. There are no
Wait, is this over all three movies or just?
All three of the XXX.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah. You're like, ooh.
I only read the script for one of them, so.
Well, you might know this one then. There are no patriots, just rebels and tyrants.
Xander Cage.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
I don't have friends, I have family.
Dom.
Yeah, of course, he's always about the family.
Yep.
And let's see, the last one. I like anything fast enough to do something stupid in.
Dom.
Yeah. No.
What?
Xander Cage.
You said fast,
yes!
Fast and the Furious. That's not fair. That was a trick question. Damn it, I almost got all of them right.
Hey, that was really
so
good,
close.
Nina. Let's give Nina a round of applause. I thought that was harder than we thought.
I'm very competitive. I don't know if you can tell.
Yes. I knew you were
I'm going to go
competitive.
home and be like, Dobrev, I can't believe you messed that up. It was so close.
So let's talk about a little bit, you had a very successful TV career, and you've kind of started to come into your own with movies. How do you make your choices, and what are your goals, starring in movies versus television?
Well, I mean, I think It is a departure, and it's been quite a journey. And I think this is the first time that that I'll be on screen since I left the show, which it didn't feel like that long until I just said that out loud. But I've been really busy filming things that will be coming out in this year and next year, so hopefully that won't be for long. But film and TV is very different and yet very similar. They do have a lot of similarities. Television is getting better and better by the day. Filmmakers are going to TV now, and so the quality has elevated and exponentially. And so, what was the question?
So how do you make your choices picking your, film roles or films
Yes.
that kind of draw you in? Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
It's okay. You're
It's
looking
early,
at your
guys.
poster and you're
it's
like,
not early.
"Ooh."
It's actually afternoon. What am I saying? I need a coffee. So I choose my roles based upon character, script, and director. Whoever the filmmaker is incredibly important. I want to be working with filmmakers that I respect and admire and look up to, and I want to play roles that are different than the ones I've played in the past, that will challenge me, that will make me scared, hopefully take me out of my comfort zone, because that's when you grow, when you leave your comfort zone and you try something new. And of course the script, the material. If it's a great story that you want to tell, that's what we are as actors. At the end of the day, we're storytellers.
And you've been in, you were in the Perks of Being a Wallflower, and of course this big budget monster. Do you find that it's good to kind of go back and forth between indies and big budget and sort of find your way?
Oh no, absolutely not. I'm definitely doing action movies from now on. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I think it definitely is a balance. You have to balance. There's so many things I want to do, and I love being a part of Perks. It's such a beautiful story and such an important movie, and it's near and dear to my heart. And this movie was a lot of fun to do, and in a very different kind of way. But yeah, I definitely want to go kind of, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You kind of go back and forth.
And so what do you have coming down the pipeline movie-wise? Is there one in particular you're really looking forward to audiences seeing? Or I'm sure you're looking forward to everybody seeing all of your movies, but is there one role that really...
Yeah, I mean, Xander Cage, obviously, this Friday, January 20th. Go see it in theaters. Please bring your friends, all your friends, their cousins, their grandmas, their brothers. Tell people on the street, whatever you want to do. And then after that, later this year, I have a movie called Flatliners coming out, which I'm really excited about. I haven't seen it yet, but I had a great time shooting that as well. Got to do a lot of cool stuff in that movie, and I got to play Doctor. I know.
Yeah. Becky, doctor, you're really killing it.
I know, I'm like an adult now or something. It's weird. Yeah, it was fun. Again, had to say a lot of really complicated words and act like I knew what I was saying. I did know what I was saying. I'm just joking, but nobody laughed, so I felt a little comfortable. Yay, there it is. You guys are great. I'll give you $50 later. And on top of that, what was I telling you? I was telling you about the dog. Oh, we did like 4 weeks of medical training, which was really cool. I had to learn how to play the cello. I had to go horseback riding.
Wow.
It was like a really very hands-on job. And so fingers crossed that the movie's good and that you guys like it too.
I'm sure it is. And this one's awesome. I saw it. And if you guys love action movies, woo, this is a lot of action. I was like this the whole time, like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Has it been difficult for you to sort of get away from the role that I won't name from TV to kind of find your own new path within the industry and to kind of leave that character behind?
What role? No idea what you're talking about.
Elena.
Oh, Elena. Yes and no. I mean, I think when I left, it was at the right moment for me, and I've been working really, really hard since then. For the last, I think it's been a year and a half, 2 years maybe, on films, and it's been paying off and going well. I know it definitely is a tough road at the beginning to transition from one medium to the other, but I've been very fortunate and very lucky so far.
Yeah. And I know a lot of fans out there, I want to get this question in before you guys ask it. But everyone wants to know if you're coming back to Vampire Diaries. And I know you have a simple answer, so let's just share it with the world so they stop asking.
I haven't ever told secrets in the past, and I'm definitely not going to start now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Good answer. But before we go to audience Q&A, Nina wanted to tell us a fun story about your Men's Health magazine shoot, which was hot, 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 may I add, if nobody saw it. There she is. Woo!
So
Tell us the story behind this particular photo, because you're saying that it looks super sexy, but maybe behind the scenes it wasn't that sexy.
I mean, everybody always thinks that Hollywood and all these things are always glamorous, and when you see this final result, you definitely, I understand why you would believe that. But it's not always the case. So for this shot, what you don't see, what was cropped out of it, is that there are two gentlemen on either side of this hammock holding it super, super straight, because when it was open, like I don't care how much I worked out, I was not gonna be able to hold myself up and look like effortless while doing so. So there was two gentlemen holding that. But even when they did that, I would have to like tense up and stay there, like hold my body position, get a few shots. And then the photographer, who's a friend of mine, Eric, Ray Davidson, he would say, okay, you can relax now, take a break. And I would just like plop down. Oop. Just like that. Yep, smooth Dobrev. Yeah, I'm just like my character, Becky. Ow. And so I would plop down and relax. And I would do that a few times. And it wasn't until I looked up at one point and made eye contact with the gentleman in front of me, and he awkwardly, his eyes went wide, and then he put his hat down. It wasn't until that moment that I realized that my legs were spread open, and I'm wearing an itty bitty bikini in the photo. Super, super awkward. And I just looked at him and I was like, I'm so sorry. Or you're welcome. I don't know.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, we all see the final products, but I'm sure for you, when you're on these sets or taking these pictures for magazines, it's not always so glamorous. So
I mean, it's by the way, champagne problems. I have nothing to complain about. But it's actually that day I had nothing to complain about. It was super, super, super hot, and luckily for once I wasn't wearing very much, so I was happy. But the whole crew was sweating like crazy.
And you're like, woo, I'm in my bikini.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's open it up to some audience questions.
Hi, Nina.
Here we go.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. This means the absolute world to me. I've met you over the years, and you're always such a sweetheart, so thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. My question is, if Becky had a theme song to describe herself, what would it be and why?
Oh, gosh. A theme song for Becky. You know, she's so weird. She really is such a weirdo. I think that she spent so much time with her nose in the books and her eyes in front of a computer screen that whenever she didn't have a lot of interaction with people. So as soon as a human came in front of her, she like doesn't know what to do. She like freezes up. So I feel like she's like a cool, geeky girl on the inside, and I bet you when she's at home alone, she listens to Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah. Or Becky with the good hair, because look
True.
at Nina Dobrev's new haircut, by the way, guys.
Yeah, or Becky with the new hair.
Yeah. I love it. We have time for one more. Here we go.
Hi, Nina.
Hey.
Huge fan. Given
you.
the success of the XXX franchise and you now joining, if you were given the opportunity to come back for another one and play Becky again, would you?
In a heartbeat. I loved playing Becky, and hopefully, if we do a sequel, maybe they'll give me a little bit more action, some more stuff to do, because I want to be a badass too. They all get to have all the fun. I want to do it too.
Yeah. We want to see you kick some ass for sure. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you, Nina. This has been so fun. Make sure to go see Return of Xander Cage. It's out on Friday, right?
This Friday. Go see it.
Thanks again. Thanks, guys.